Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
I'm okay.
My name is Raymond Bola Brown.
Hi, my name is Fred Amata, and you are on to Souq News.
If you are watching this channel for the first time, make sure you continue to watch it because this is Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News. Actually, I don't know. I really enjoyed the little moment I spent with you, and I think with more of this.
Souq News. Here's the Souq News who had the courage to transcend a locked-off camera and actually have a conversation with a human being. It's a pleasure, Souq News. Thank you very much.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Hello and welcome to News on the Hour. I am Juvi Ufiene. Here are the headlines. Welcome. We begin from Nigeria, where the Nigerian Naira has experienced a marginal appreciation of 0.39% at the official foreign exchange market, marking the first gain after the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) raised its benchmark interest rate. Despite a 22.71% drop in dollar liquidity, the Naira strengthened against the US dollar, trading at 1,609.51 compared to 1,615.94 during the week. The CBN's monetary policy rate, MPR, was increased by 400 basis points to 22.75%. The intraday high of the Naira reached 1,660 Naira per dollar, while the intraday low fell to 1,401 Naira per dollar, the lowest ever recorded. On the black market, the Naira appreciated by 6.89% as the dollar fell by 6.45% to 1,450 Naira on Wednesday compared to 1,550 Naira on Tuesday. Also, concerns have been raised by CEO of the Promotion of Private Enterprise, Muda Yusuf, regarding the potential impact of the rate hike on the real sector of the economy, already facing multiple challenges. The increase in the MPR and cash reserve ratio (CRR) could limit bank capacity to support economic growth and investment, particularly in the real sector. Still in Nigeria, the Nigerian government is intensifying efforts to enhance food security through genome editing technology adoption, aiming to improve agricultural practices nationwide. The National Biotechnological Development Agency Director General, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, highlighted this during a training workshop organized in collaboration with AUDA and EPAD, focusing on communicating the benefits of genome editing to local farmers. Genome editing, a form of genetic engineering, promises better yielding seedlings, reducing time to maturity, and enhancing productivity. He emphasized the importance of public understanding and urges stakeholders to connect with farmers. The Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency, Dr. Agnes Asagra, highlights the agency's guidelines to promote technology conformity. Lamata, arguably Nigeria's foremost mobility agency, is changing the narrative of states from over-dependent monomodal transit that is rolled to a multiple modal system, where the state is becoming a major player in the transportation landscape. By delivering the 2 rail lines, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu put Lagos fully into the community of train-friendly states. The Red Line got its first rolling stock, the Tiger train, from the Milwaukee in the United States, while the government has ordered for more new stock from China Rail Rolling Construction Cooperation. And we'll take a move to the health sector, where Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to give an executive order aimed at reducing the cost of drugs and pharmaceutical products nationwide. This was reviewed by the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, at a ministerial press briefing in Abuja, alongside Mr. Mohammed Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation. The minister stressed government commitment to mitigate the rising pharmaceutical expenses despite the departure of multinational companies. He outlined long-term strategies focusing on local drug production. Additionally, he highlighted initiatives such as constructing pharmaceutical-grade warehouses in 21 states and securing a $1 billion facility from Afreximbank to increase medical industrialization efforts. Furthermore, he reviewed a substantial increase in health insurance enrollment, recruitment of healthcare personnel, and investment in primary healthcare and immunization programs with universal access to quality healthcare and safeguard public health, particularly for women and girls. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank had its first meeting this year and increased the base interest rate by 400 basis points to 22.75%. A major fallout from the MPC decision is that the measure has further increased the cost of borrowing from the deposit money banks. Bayo Olaoye has the details.
The MPC said the decision to hike the interest rate was taken to combat inflation and stabilize the foreign exchange market. The benchmark interest rate, known as Monetary Policy Ratio (MPR), was raised by 400 basic points to 22.75% from 18.75%. This is the highest MPR since 2017 and aims to make borrowing more expensive, thereby reducing the money supply and curbing inflation. The cash reserve ratio (CRR), the portion of customer deposits that banks must hold as reserve with the CBN, was also raised from 32.5% to 45%. This further restricts the amount of money available for unlending in the economy. The asymmetric corridor around the MPR was adjusted, providing the CBN with more flexibility to manage liquidity in the banking system, while the liquidity ratio, the minimum amount of liquid assets that banks must maintain, remains at 30%. The rationale behind the decision, the CBN governor said, was as a result of MPC's commitment to curb inflation, which has been persistently rising. He acknowledged the trade-off between economic growth and inflation control, but stated that long-term growth was only possible in a stable environment with low inflation. Mr. Cardoso stated that the CBN had acknowledged the importance of working with the government to address non-monetary factors contributing to inflation, such as insecurity and infrastructural deficits. The MPC commended the ongoing fiscal initiative aimed at reducing living costs and improving food supply. Mr. Cardoso raised concerns about potential illicit activities and suspicious flows within the cryptocurrency sector, specifically mentioning Binance Nigeria. He stated that last year alone, $26 billion had passed through Binance Nigeria from sources and users who could not be identified, adding that the CBN was concerned that certain practices go on that indicated illicit flows going through a number of entities and suspicious flows at that. Mr. Cardoso pointed out that a lot was going on in collaboration with the security forces, which included the FCC, the police, and the Office of the National Security Advisor, stressing that it was determined to do everything possible to ensure that it took charge of the market and did not allow others to manipulate it in a way which created distortions for all Nigerians. Mr. Cardoso emphasized CBN's commitment to collaborating with law enforcement agencies to regulate the market and prevent manipulation, and also assured Nigerians that it was committed to clearing the backlog of genuine requests for foreign exchange and recently paid out another $400 million to those affected. He disclosed that recent tools had already attracted $2 billion and that further progress was expected. Bayo Olawi, reporting for Souq News.
Aba Power, a subsidiary of Geometric Power, is set to start commercial operations in the Aba Ring Fence area 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Chairman Professor Bat Naji directed an earlier launch aiming to provide power to consumers sooner. The 188-megawatt thermal plant will initially supply 47 megawatts, nearly double the current grid-based supply. The accelerated timeline is attributed to proactive measures, with the second turbine expected to stabilize power supply at 94 megawatts. This move is seen as a positive step in addressing power challenges in Aba. The federal government considers Geometric Power as a potential business model for the broader development of the Nigerian power sector. We go on a quick break, and when we return, the news continues.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV
has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
Welcome. And away from Nigeria, the International Criminal Court ICC has ordered a compensation of over $56 million for nearly 50,000 victims of Uganda militia commander Dominic Ongwen, who was convicted on 6 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Despite Ongwen's inability to pay, judges ruled for reparations still facilitated by the ICC's Trust Fund for Victims. The compensation, including symbolic individual payments and collective reparations like rehabilitation programs and memorial sites, aim to address the atrocities committed by the Lord's Resilience Army (LRA) under fugitive warlord Joseph Kone's leadership. However, victims advocate Louis Lacour emphasizes the limitations of monetary compensation given the profound physical and psychological trauma endured by survivors. And in Namibia has revised economic growth projections for 2023 and 2024, citing robust performance in the oil and mining industries. The country anticipates a growth rate of 5.6% for 2023 and 4.0% for 2024, surpassing earlier estimates of 3.5% and 2.9%. Finance Minister Ipombu Shimi highlighted the positive impact of ongoing petroleum exploration and increased uranium production. The budget deficit for 2023/2024 is now forecast at 3.2% for gross domestic product, down from the previous estimate of 4.2%, reflecting the nation's economic resilience. Despite the growth, Namibia emphasizes the need for diversification to address long-standing issues such as unemployment and income inequality. Egypt has inked a 7 memoranda of understanding with international developers in green hydrogen and renewable energy sectors within the Suez Canal Economic Zone, potentially drawing investment totaling $40 billion over a decade. Planning Minister Ella Al-Said indicated an initial investment of $12 billion for a pilot phase, followed by an additional $29 billion for the first phase. Over the past 2 years, Egypt has pursued agreement to bolster its green hydrogen industry, aiming to establish itself as a key hub for renewable energy. However, it confronts stiff competition from other nations in North Africa and the Middle East vying for similar positioning. Now, away from Africa, the ongoing conflict in the Red Sea has underscored the importance of developing new trade routes and investing in logistics to maintain stable supply chains, according to the UAE Minister of Economy, Abdullah bin Souq. Addressing challenges arising from the Red Sea crisis, he emphasized the necessity of exploring alternative ways of moving goods and ensuring a consistent supply to the markets. Despite disruptions, the UAE remains focused on resilience, dynamic policies, and anticipates a 5% economic growth in 2024. The minister expressed confidence that the scaling down interest rates by the U.S. Federal Reserve in 2024 will stimulate investment and capital flow into the UAE. India and South Africa has lodged a formal objection against an investment agreement at the World Trade Organization meeting in Abu Dhabi, thwarting its adoption and potentially stalling hundreds of billions of dollars in investments. The deal, supported by around 125 countries, seeks to streamline bureaucratic processes, enhance the investment climate, and stimulate foreign direct investment. However, under the WTO regulations, any of the 164 members can veto a deal, necessitating unanimous consent for adoption. While the Indian and South African delegations refrained from immediate public comments, observers expressed concern over the repercussions, particularly for the world's poorest nations. Despite the setback, discussions on the issue are expected to continue at the General Council in Geneva following the ministerial conference. And now we'll go on a short break. When we return, News on the Hour continues. The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodun Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba Meta or Aro Meta, the three sculptured chiefs were placed along the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate to welcome people coming into Lagos State. The statue, called the Three Wise Men, by many has become a major signature for the state. Three white-capped chiefs, clad in white wrappers, knotted across their shoulders and with clenched right fists, are shown in the artwork. The images fascinate and create impressions in the minds of visitors coming into the state, captivating the attention of visitors who look with keen interest, pondering on the messages which the posture of the engraved images signifies. The Three Wise Men has been relocated thrice from its original position at Ojodu Berger end of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Magodo area before its final relocation to its present site at Olowopopo Drive. The sculpture has suffered severe damages over the years and renovated. Bodun Shodende, through this sculpture, depicted the highest honor that can be afforded to anyone in the Eko greeting tradition. The Three Wise Men, Arometa, Souq, Enlightenment. In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Thank you for staying with Souq News. The news continues now. The Chinese President Xi Jinping has pledged to boost Chinese investment in Sierra Leone as part of Beijing's ongoing effort to strengthen economic and political relations with Africa. Emphasizing China's commitment to cooperation with African nations, the president characterized the ties with Sierra Leone as a model of unity and collaboration for other African states during a meeting with visiting Sierra Leone President Julius Maada Bio in Beijing. The president, accompanied by his finance and mining ministers, aimed to attract more Chinese investment to improve Sierra Leone's infrastructure. China's assistance to Sierra Leone includes $6.95 billion in economic and technical aid, a debt cancellation of 20 million yuan, and 1,500 tons of food aid, signaling a deepening of bilateral collaboration. With the easing of COVID-19 restrictions and the reopening of borders, China's engagement with African countries is expected to intensify in 2024, reinforcing its diplomatic ties and geopolitical influence in the region amidst growing competition, particularly from the United States. In another development, the Bank of Japan board member Hajime Takata has stressed the need for a potential overhaul of the central bank's ultra-loose monetary policy, suggesting a departure from negative interest rates and bond yield control. In his speech, Takata proposed considering flexible responses, including adjustments to the current accommodative policy stance. He highlighted improving prospects for achieving the 2% inflation target, citing shifts in companies' reluctance to raise wages and prices. Market reactions reflected anticipation of policy normalization, with the dollar declining against the yuan and the government bond yields rising. While the bank currently maintains a negative interest rate and yield curve control, Takata's remarks signals the likelihood of policy adjustments in the near future. Japan's industrial output experienced a steep decline of 7.5% in January, marking the sharpest fall since May 2020, according to government data. This significant contraction, worse than the anticipated 7.3% drop, is attributed to a production downturn in motor vehicles, heightening worries about the country's fragile economy that slipped into a recession at the end of the previous year. The manufacturing sector, particularly in the production of motor vehicles and electronic equipment, faces challenges amid weak global demand. Analysts suggest that the data hints at a potential contraction in Japan's gross domestic product for the current quarter, emphasizing the economic hurdles the country must overcome to recover. Additionally, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry downgraded its assessment of industrial output for the first time since July last year. Meanwhile, separate data of Japanese retail sales showed a positive trend, rising 2.3% in January year-on-year production, providing a glimmer of hope for consumption, offsetting some industrial pressure. Thailand Health Minister Chorn Shriko says the country is set to prohibit recreational marijuana usage by the year's end, while maintaining its allowance for medical purposes, following Taiwan's landmark decision to legalize medicinal cannabis in 2018 and recreational use in 2022. An expansive cannabis industry has increased, with tens of thousands of cannabis shops anticipated to generate up to $1.2 billion in value by next year. Amid criticism of hastily implementing regulations post-decriminalization, the government is finalizing a new law to govern cannabis use, slated to come into effect by year-end, pending approval from the cabinet and parliament. The minister stressed the necessity of regulation to curb cannabis misuse, particularly highlighting concerns over its adverse effect on Thai youth and potential gateway implications. World stocks are nearing record highs, showing resilience despite geopolitical tensions and inflation concerns. European markets mark their fourth consecutive monthly rise. The focus is on the U.S. Federal Reserve PCE inflation data. Bitcoin experiences substantial gains, up 3.5% on the day and nearly 50% for the month, approaching its late 2021 record. Renewed excitement in the crypto market is attributed to the approval of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in the U.S. Global markets awaits U.S. PCE data impact on the dollar and equities. Despite Wall Street futures dripping, Asian markets, especially in the mainland China, show optimism. Oil prices decline on worries and shows worries on slow demand. We'll take another break, and when we return, the news continues. The heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godi Odidi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
Welcome back. Meta's Chief Executive Officer Mark Zuckerberg has embarked on a visit to South Korea to engage in talks on artificial intelligence and meet with President Yoon Suk Yeol and leaders of prominent tech firms in the country. The Asian tour, which marks his first known visit to the country in about 10 years, also includes Japan and India, even as he aims to bolster Meta's AI efforts, including the development of a custom chip and integrating AI functions into products. Discussions with South Korean officials and tech leaders revolve around AI chip supply, expanding ecosystems for generative AI, and potential joint projects. Meta's push into AI includes plans for a new custom chip and procuring 315,000 H100 graphic processing units from NVIDIA by year end. The European Central Bank ECB plans to maintain a floor random market interest rate but aims to involve commercial banks more in determining liquidity needs. The move is prompted by changing economic conditions with inflation higher and excess reserve from stimulus program becoming unnecessary. The ECB is expected to announce the demand-driven floor framework in March, potentially lowering rates on cash auctions to encourage bank borrowing and easing the financial penalty for banks in need of cash during the transition phase. The new approach allows for more bank involvement in liquidity decisions. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has approved updated COVID vaccine as a second annual shot for adults aged 65 and older. The move follows CDC's Advisory Committee for Immunization Practice, ACIP, recommending a second shot for this age group this spring, citing the increased risks for severe outcomes in older individuals. Last year, the committee had suggested an optional additional clause for the same age group. The CDC estimates that around 22% of U.S. adults have received the updated COVID vaccine for the 2023-2024 vaccination season, with dose to 42% among those aged 65 and older. Walt Disney and India conglomerate Reliance are set to merge their Star India and Viacom 18 units into a new $8.5 billion joint venture. This move is expected to bring back valuable cricket streaming rights to Disney in India, a market passionate about the sport. Disney, having lost streaming rights to India Premier League IPL cricket matches in 2022, aims to regain lost customers through the joint venture, sharing content and operational expenses with Reliance. The deal reflects Disney's commitment to the Indian market and potential profitability in streaming, despite a recent subscriber decline. And that's a wrap on the news on the hour. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Souq News TV. I am Juvi Ufiene. Many thanks for watching.